Alright, what is going on everybody? Captain here, back again with another Marvel Contest Champions video. And I know in yesterday's video I had said I was going to be opening up premium hero crystals in this one because Stark Spidey just got added, but I actually can't do that today because our summoner advancement scores might end up being too high and we want to land in a certain range so we get the revives. So we all decided we're not opening crystals. I had to sneeze. Sneeze went away. That sucks. But we decided that we're going to be holding crystals for now so that we don't pass our summoner advancement score, so I will not be opening those today. I'll have to wait till at least Thursday for that. So Thursday and Friday you'll probably see a premium hero crystal opening, and then a 4-star crystal opening, and then eventually the blade crystal opening, because he comes on Thursday, guys. I'm not opening him right away on Thursday because I'm trying to push to get some more shards, and as you can see, that's why I finished the Goldblum challenge. And a couple other things I finished up. Obviously I did the boss challenge, and then 5.3 I've been chipping away at, so I got some more shards coming from that hopefully soon. But yeah, so instead of doing that I decided I would do a quick little recap of my experience with this challenge, and as well as I'll open up the rewards at the end, just basically the Awakening Gem and the Tier 4 class Catalyst. So I'll go ahead, hop into the 4th path here, and as you can see, I have the 2-star 3-star Voodoo and Vision in there. That's because they're both in my Alliance Quest team now. So I just put them in there just to show you that's who I was using. But this was the team that I used to get through the final chapter 4 of the path. Leading up to this, the first 3 chapters, as I know most of you probably didn't have any trouble with. You can use basically whoever you want, but once you get to the 4th one, you add the node cornered and a couple other things that make it tricky, so you had to get a little bit more creative with who you are using. And I know some other people probably have already posted their channels. I know I'm kind of late on getting this out, but I wanted to at least get something out to you guys, and maybe something I'll say will be something different that someone else said before. So let's go ahead. I'll jump into this quest here, and I'll go champion by champion, and then talk about the final boss, and then we'll get to the opening. Before I get into each individual character, I first want to address Cornered, which is on every single node in this final chapter. So whenever a damage over time debuff is applied to this champion, they gain a 200% more power for the duration of that debuff. So basically that means if you have a champion that adds a bleed, adds a poison, incinerate, anything that does damage over a period of time while that debuff is applied to them, they will gain 200% more power, which is a ton. So you don't want to be using champions like Gwenpool unless you're really good at getting to that special 3 and you can work around it and you can power lock them that way. But I tried it for a little bit, but I would advise against it. But if she's all you have, then you got to work with that. But champions like Archangel are not going to be very useful for this challenge. Anybody like that that's going to add a lot of damage over time debuffs, you don't want to use them for this challenge. So first off, you have Thor here. Thor, like I said, you have the life transfer on every single node, which is super helpful. There was many times against all these champions in this quest where I was down to just a sliver of health and I was able to get it right back up. It's really helpful if you happen to be like saving a special 3 or you just happen to get to it. You're gonna get almost your entire health back on most champions from using a special 3, but as well as just using basic attacks and everything, you just get that health right back. Super nice and super quick. It's awesome. But with Thor individually here, basically the only thing you have to worry about is he does have Stupefy, so if you get hit by him, you're most likely, or you get hit by a special at least, you're most likely going to die because that stun is going to last a lot longer. But also his special 1 is unblockable, so special 1 is not anything difficult to evade. You just have to see him when he raises his hammer up, and when he pushes it forward you just dash back. So nothing to worry about with that one. For that one I use Dr. Voodoo every single time, I believe. So yeah, Dr. Voodoo or Magic were both really good matchups for Thor, obviously with the class advantage there. Moving on to Thor Jane Foster, her big thing is she is stun immune, so that's really the only big thing, but you really just have to take block damage and just try to, or just evade. But like I was saying with the life transfer, the block damage isn't going to really affect you that much. It's because you're just going to get that health right back, so you just got to wait for a heavy to pop up, or if she uses a special. And also I forgot, her special 1 is unblockable too. So the special 1, she just slams her hammer down, and there's like a jolt of lightning that comes at you. Just kind of got to get the timing right. It's very similar to how Electro's special 2 works. If you're good at evading that, you should be good at this one too. So for that fight, I used, let's see, I used Star-Lord a lot of the time for that one. Dr. Voodoo, I think, a few times. Even Magic, Vision could be good. Again, that's not one of the more difficult fights. The really only hard fights, actually, none of these fights are really that hard. They were just kind of long at times, and it probably would have been better if my Magic would have been rank 5, but or 5-star. But yeah, moving on to Angela. Angela, she is also, again, has the cornered, and then she has Limber, which is really the only thing different from her. Enemy nullify effects are 65% more chance to fail, but I didn't really matter with that. I used Magic, and I just tried to get her into her power lock by doing the swipe, the four hits, and then swipe back, 4 hits, swipe back, 4 hits, get the power lock going. With Magic, as my rank 4 level 40, she carried me through most of this fight, actually. And when we get to Loki, I'll talk more about her. But yeah, with Angela, even I did push Magic, do my special 3 one time, and she still nullified every single one of Angela's buffs, which obviously did a ton of damage, and then immediately got me straight back up to another special 3, because she does gain, what was it? She cycles between physical resistance and energy resistance, so those buffs can stack up quite a bit in a long fight. So being able to nullify those with Magic is very helpful. Moving on to Hulk now. Hulk, he has basically just Optimus node, which gives him the Fury, Armor Up, and Health Steal, under 25% health. And with Hulk, the big thing, you just don't want to get hit by him, because obviously he's going to hit you super hard. Other than that, yeah, nothing really to worry about. I use Star-Lord for that most of the time as well. Hyperion I did use on this one, but Star-Lord, just keep that combo up, and you shouldn't have that many issues. I think throughout the whole entire run of this the 4th map here, I think I only had to like revive 3 or 4 times of an individual character or something like that, so not too bad in my opinion. But then moving on to Doctor Strange, which is probably going to be the fight that's going to give you guys a lot of difficulty if you don't have a power control champion. If you have a power control champion like Vision, Magic, even probably, or Dr. Voodoo, obviously, or if you have like a Hawkeye or someone, you can use it easy with a special 1. You shouldn't have any issues with him, because you will prevent him from getting to that special 2, because his special 2 is unblockable, and that's what you got to look out for with him. But I was able to use Magic against him, and then power lock him in the corner, do the same thing, the 4 hits, and then swipe out, and then back in with the power lock. And I didn't have any issues with that. And then when my Magic finally died, I switched over, started using Voodoo. As long as I got to my special 3, or my special 2, I was fine. Alright, so that brings us now to the final boss, which is Loki. Again, he's got the life transfer, he's got all those little health and attack boosts. He does have an unblockable special 1, and with Loki, if you're not familiar with how he works, his awakened ability allows him to, kind of how Doctor Strange just gains power at a steady pace. Loki does the same thing, but it stops at his special 1, and then he gains power normally like every other champion, but his power gain is really quick, so he gets to that special 1 really often, and like I said here, it is unblockable, so you got to be aware of that. He also has likely to activate special 1, and all his debuffs last longer. He's got heal block, and then Bane is the big one. If you guys aren't familiar with chapter 5.2, Bane is a really obnoxious debuff, but it is kind of a fun, once you get the hang of it, it's fun to work around it. Basically, whoever hits the other first, there's a curse placed on them, and then it starts ticking away damage, and there's a timer on it, and once that timer expires, it automatically transfers it to the other opponent, to the other character. So if you put it on them first, once that expires, it'll go back to you. So you really have to time that so that you hit them right before or right after that expires, so that it puts it right back onto them. Because that's the other way it gets transferred, is by hitting. If it's on you, you hit the other opponent, then it'll give them the Bane. Probably wasn't the best explanation there, but that's the best I could do off the top of my head. But yeah, that's really all you have to worry about with Loki. I used magic for this fight and took him down in one go actually, which I was pretty impressed with. And especially since my magic is only rank 4 level 40, so I didn't have any issues with that. So that's my experience with this Goldblum challenge, Goldblum, however you say it. Let me know what you guys did, what champions worked for you. I'll go ahead and exit out of this now, and let's get on to the crystal opening side of things. Alright, here we are at my crystals, and by I meant the rewards opening. We're not opening actual crystals to get champions here. But yeah, so we got this tier 4 class catalyst, which we'll open. We'll just spin it out. I'd like a skill one, because if I get blade, I'll need more of those to get him up. So I guess that's what we'd really like to see here, would be a skill one. Anything but science, and that's what we're gonna get, is science. Alright, that's that's cool. Alright, so now the other big one though, which is the awakening gem. Where's that at? So this, obviously this 4-star was from the 5-star or the 6-star challenge, and I do have all of these to open from that deal that was offered last week. But here we go with the awakening gem. Honestly, if I had to pick a class, this one I would like science, because then I can awaken my 4-star Hulk, which would be really sweet. So let's go ahead, open this, and actually hope for a science. Okay, come on. And stop. Did it with 2 fingers, I don't know why. Come on. And we're gonna get a mutant one. Okay, well, that doesn't really help me at all. I don't even know what champion I want to use that on. The only one that comes to mind would be X23. Most of my mutants are actually awakened already. Let's go ahead and sort this. And I have 4 of them at rank 5 already. That's actually the most. I'm not going to use it on Nightcrawler because it's pointless. Yeah, Wolverine's the only one that I really see being useful, or maybe I'll just hold on to it. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Again, sorry, this wasn't the mass Premium Hero Crystal opening that I had promised yesterday. Gotta be a team player here and work with the Alliance. So that'll be out later this week. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.